Yeah, anyway, like, people, I say people, humans can invoke all this chakra, third eye, spiritual this and spiritual that, and whatever. Look, humanity as a whole is a chemical reaction. That's it. We are a chemical. Now, were we genetically messed with? I don't know. Were we advanced? I don't know. I can't answer those questions because it wasn't there. I don't know. There's no evidence. There is speculation. I mean, how we went from being cave dwellers to all of a sudden farmers and builders and tool makers. And, you know what I mean? That I can't explain. Maybe there was an interference with our genetics, our whatever. But to blame it on spiritual, to blame it on, it is ridiculous. Now, it is absolutely possible that humanity was tampered with. It's possible. I mean, all the signs point in that direction. But I have to be bleak and say we are not important to the universe. If you look at Earth in the grand scheme, like Milky Way, exit out to where Earth is in the Milky Way. We're almost invisible, because Earth basically is the size of a grain of sand compared to everything else in not only the solar system but the galaxy and the entirety of the universe. We are nothing. None of us are important outside of our planet, our immediate environment. We are not important universally. It is arrogant to think that we are. Our planet produces life biologically, like through osmosis and other forms of evolution. And that's what it is. It's evolution. I myself sit alone and basically to other human beings, I don't exist. Do I exist? Am I here? Is this reality? These are questions that everyone asks. Everyone goes through. Because the reality is we are a biological evolution. There was at one point an amoeba, a biological whatever, a virus, I guess, whatever, and it started to change, and it over millions and millions of years it evolved, it changed, it grew, it you know, wasn't sentient yet, but it was on the verge. And then at one point it was a fish-like. It wasn't a fish, but it was a fish-like being. It got all of its oxygen from the water. It existed in the... We are all, by the way, born of water. It is the primordial force. It is the answer to all creation. If you want to serve a God, pray to water. Because water is our creator. Conditions were right. And this at one time single cell organism developed into a multiple cell organism. And it didn't stop. It continued. Now eventually life started getting out of the water and onto land, and way before the dinosaurs there were inhabitants of the earth. There were creatures that are unimaginable. Do you know that at one point, at least it's theorized, that mushrooms were taller than any tree that we have now? Like, mushrooms dominated the earth. Mushrooms. Not trees, not any other thing but mushrooms. Fungi. Now at some point a critter got out of the water, developed land surviving, abilities, legs, arms, mouth, lungs, all that. And they moved forth. Now there obviously had to be something that it consumed to sustain and survive. Now I have no answer to that. There's a gap. But at one point whatever we are, got out of the sea and became a land dwelling. It existed for millions of years, and then millions of years, once it went extinct because of the new thing, the world started changing. There were asteroids that hit. There were environmental differences. There were all kinds of variables, things that, and then as these things occurred, all these creatures just started evolving and coming out of the sea, and becoming life. They lived. The spark, whatever it is, just, it happened. And millions and millions and millions and millions of years, at one point, mammals, critters with a spine and hair, titty milk, and that kind of shit, just started to happen. And as it started to happen, millions and millions and millions of years later, apes became a thing. And as apes became a thing, apes started to gather knowledge. And as they gathered knowledge, their brains could only contain so much, and evolution took over and created another form of ape and another form of ape, and eventually humanity occurred. Now we live on this planet thinking that we are the end all be all it. We are the number one, we're whatever. This is our mentality. But reality is, we're not. We aren't. There will be a situation that will happen that will decimate the majority of humanity off the planet. Whether it be an asteroid, a disease, who knows? But in the aftermath, the ones who are able to survive, those, if any, there will come another evolution. An advanced, maybe not advanced, I don't know. Personally, I see AI, robotics, cybernetics, all that as the next step in human evolution. We will at one point, if we make it to that point, become, cybernetic. It will happen. We will learn to advance our minds, our bodies, everything that exists right now will be different. It will be enhanced. And when this happens, humanity as we know it will no longer exist. It will be a study, like we study, prehistoric things and historic things 2,000, whatever years ago. It will be prevalent, and it will occur, and it will be a force that, if you could get in a time machine and go forward into history and get out and look around, you would probably be an anomaly. Most would not know how to embrace or accept you, because you will be humanoid in a biological term. You will be completely human. When the future that you just went to will be AI type, robotic, humanity biologically as we know it now won't exist. Humans will be able to take their minds and put it into a machine. And then, the limits that humanity experiences will be gone, because it will now be a matrix, a net. So what you know now, once you are added to this machine, will expand. There will be no limit to understanding or comprehension or anything. Like, you will be, you know, it is crazy to me that no one can see this coming. We are either going to absolutely destroy ourselves, or we are going to absolutely destroy what is the ideology or concept of humanity. It won't exist. We will be, at some point, if we're lucky, machine. There will be an aspect of biological, existence, thought, whatever, but eventually that will be phased out. And evolution is a bitch. And the reality is, as humans, we have created, like gods, our next step. We created it. We have initiated it. We have made it so. Think about this. Think about it. Because we're comfortable now. Now we're, even though we aren't comfortable, we're wars and disease and poverty, and that will end. And it will end with AI and robotics and cybernetics. It will end. All wars will, at one point, stop. All disease will stop. This earth will at one point, Cybertron, we are, if life continues to evolve the way it is and at the progressive rate that it is, we will be Cybertron. If any of you know what that is. Anyway, I'm done with my insanity and my ramblings. I get it. But I'd like for you all to think about that. The more technologically advanced the human race becomes, the more we are signing our death certificate, our non-existence. There may be pockets of humanity out there who try to sustain and survive, but that'll only last so long, maybe 1,000 years or so. Eventually, evolution will win. And unfortunately for humanity, our evolution is going to be artificial intelligence based on our intelligence. And it will advance. Now, those creatures will be able to explore the stars. Humanity never will. Anyway, thank you for listening. And